It's an image that's indelibly painted, I think, on all racegoers' minds in this country. That start for the Emirates Melbourne Cup on this day with the stands and lawns full. 22 runners today, late scratching this morning, a scratching yesterday, so not quite the full field. The best from Asia and Europe are here, both in terms of horse flesh, jockey, trainer and owners as well, for the running of the $6.2 million race. Let's go to Glenn Munsie from tab.com for the market mover on this year's Emirates Melbourne Cup. Muns.
Well, Bruce, it's not unusual to see a wide market in the Melbourne Cup, but Paddy, I think, was willing to get this to $6 most of the day at My Ratke. The bookies fell into it. As soon as they got it to $6, it was bang, straight back into $5.50. So, Paddy, there's got to be something come away if it gets the chocolates, but it is the market mover for the Melbourne Cup. The Caulfield Cup winner, the Japanese galloper at My Ratke.
He looks superb, doesn't he? We see Faulkner. Hamish, you're right down there near the start. Can you give us an observation of what you're seeing?
Macro, I've been around the mounting yard and the parade ring all day where there's so much noise and so many people and so much movement. Down here it's so different, it's so surreal. You can hear the seagulls overhead squawking. There's been a hawk to try and get rid of them. You can hear the Channel 7 chopper. There is almost no conversation between the jockeys. Admire Ratke was second down here. My Ambivalent came 12 minutes beforehand, and they're really struggling with her now. She's got 5, 6 barrier attendants around her trying to get her in, so the mare's got fizzed right up. Zach Burton brought Admire Ratke down and headed down to where the 1,200-metre start is. And now the jockeys are just asking for some water as they try and keep their horses unbelievably calm. Very few conversations going on. The only conversations are going on between horse and jockey and barrier attendant. Water's being called for, but right now we've got a real problem with My Ambivalent. She's being masked and taken towards the barriers, and she's heating up.
Okay, thank you. And Joe Murrell, by the way, weighed in 0.6 of a kilo over, so 51 and a half. We're going to go to Paddy just for one moment. So lots of problems here. We just might sit for a second here, eh?
Apparently she did this in Dubai with My Ambivalent before the Shima Classic. They thought, oh gosh, she's not going to go in here. She's got the blindfold on. She's got about 10 handlers behind her trying to get her in. So hopefully she goes in.
Glenn Darrington, who is on her head, if you like, leading her in, body first. She's got a hood on, as you can see, and the barrier attendant just upstairs has just got hold of her ear to make sure that she's sedated. Sends the pheromones off in the horse's body just to keep them cool.
So that's interesting. We talk about horses having to go in barrier order. Now, she's gone in first today. She's not number one. She's actually in barrier 3. So in she goes before any other horse. A lot of this has been talked about because of the Darley sprint coming out.
Also, I think that's because they know she has potential to be a problem, so they wouldn't want to leave her late in case so to inconvenience the others that are standing in the stalls already.
Pat, one word from you, Paddy.
Nothing between Admire Ratke, which is your favourite, but there's been money laid for Protectionist and Lucia Valentina.
There goes Lucia Valentina into the stalls there now. Admire Ratke was walking around behind the gates, just looked beautiful. There he is. That's exactly how you want your horse to be. Alert, but relaxed. He's perfect.
Nice and alert. Now the speed folks at home. Au revoir will go forward. Mr. O'Searan, Sizemos, Ladari, who shot the Barman, Red Cadeaux, Brambles, Faulkner, Genereux. Admire Ratke will balance up midfield with Sign-Off, you would think, and Gatewood. They're your speed horses that you would expect to sit in the first half of the field, going out of the straight for the first time.
He's just having a little bit of a kick there. He can be a bit like that, as we saw when he came back in after the Caulfield Cup. But there's a handler on the right, just with a long kind of flicky whip. He's just brushing his ankles just to say, oi, don't play up, oi, go forward. But talking about the pace, I haven't really heard from anyone that they definitely want to lead. But a lot of people, especially the internationals, are saying they need pace and they're going to be positive out of the barriers. Actually, even Faulkner, I've heard, wants to sit in the first 3, so there could end up being quite a lot of pace.
He was just playing games with them at My Ratke. He was just giving them a test out, but he's in and he'll stand perfectly.
Lucia Valentina, Araldo, looked unbelievable in the yard just prior to going out the mounting yard, and so did Sign-Off. I cannot believe how much he's tightened up and really blossomed with his dapples and his coat. His pattern really has come out like a horse that's just peaking at the right time.
Another one that I thought looked impeccable was Araldo. He's a lovely, big, strong horse and looked great in the coat. He actually caught the eye at the Caulfield Cup, and we probably haven't seen the best of him, and it looks like his form's not great on paper, but he's got improvement.
Here comes Protectionist going up.
So we're getting just about set, aren't we? For the running of the 2014 Emirates Melbourne Cup. The great race that stops the nation is about to explode, and for an equal record 34th time, Greg Miles to call the race.
The Rildo will be the last one to go into the barriers. lines up, and the field is ready for dispatch. They're set. Racing. The cup field on its way. Genereux and Unchained My Heart with the first couple of bouts on the inside. Faulkner got away well. Mutual Regard jumped quickly, so did Who Shot the Barman. Areldo immediately over their heels, crossing towards the inside. Speed out wide, it was Mr. O'Kieran. Willing Foe, Sign Off going towards the middle of the pack in the early stages. Out very wide as Brambles, and Au Revoir in the blue cap is the deepest runner. Precedence has gone back. He's last of all as they settle into stride. Admire Acti had got away well, and he's up there with My Ambivalent. So they're the two leaders. My Ambivalent pulling hard on the inside. The leader from Admire Acti, and 2 lengths away in third, Royal Diamond. Faulkner's got over fourth today, beautifully positioned, and then Genereux, Ladari, Lucia Valentino, Willing Foe caught a little bit deep there from Who Shot the Barman between horses. Then came Brambles on the outside of Unchained My Heart, Mutual Regard, Au Revoir wide around Red Cadeaux, Protectionist and Opinion. They're being followed further back by Sign Off. Next on his side, inside was Areldo as they sweep out of the straight. Gatewood towards the end. Then Mr. O'Kieran, who's caught out very wide. Precedence is back second last, and Size Mosse is last of all as the Emirates Melbourne Cup field starts to stretch out because My Ambivalent wants to run, and she leads by about 3 lengths. Admire Acti is holding down second, about 1.5 lengths to Royal Diamond third, and they're a long way in front, about 4 lengths clear then to Faulkner, and over on the inside was Genereux as they run up the riverside. With those as Brambles, 1.5 lengths further back, Red Cadeaux, who's deep out and he's on the move. Being followed then between horses is Willing Foe. Ladari's on the rail, and Au Revoir is also posted out quite wide as they run up towards the 1400. Then came Sign Off. He's midfield at the moment. Being followed further back then by Who Shot the Barman down on the inside of Gatewood, improving his place, and then Lucia Valentina, Mutual Regard and Opinion. A length Protectionist, Areldo well back, followed by Unchained My Heart. Back to the end as Precedence in company with Mr. O'Kieran, and Size Mosse was still last of all at the 1200 metres, and the leader is still My Ambivalent by 2, Admire Acti, and Brambles had gone up into third placing, followed by Royal Diamond, Red Cadeaux. A length away is Genereux, and they're followed then by Au Revoir. Faulkner bides his time, and Sign Off is starting a move. They're being followed by Ladari, Willing Foe, Gatewood well back in the field as Opinion, and Who Shot the Barman, Lucia Valentina on the rail, followed by Mutual Regard, Areldo, Protectionist, Unchained My Heart. Precedence towards the end with Mr. O'Kieran, and Size Mosse was still last. Coming around the turn now, and Brambles is the first one to race up and challenge My Ambivalent as they swing around the bend. They're being followed by Red Cadeaux, poised for his run, and so is Sign Off, and Au Revoir's wider, followed by Gatewood. Admire Acti's well back. Opinion is pulled out. Mutual Regard is threading through, and so too Protectionist. Red Cadeaux hits the front. Sign Off coming after him with 300 metres to go. Willing Foe starting to run on down the outside, and Protectionist is bursting through. Protectionist raced to Red Cadeaux, Who Shot the Barman, and then Sign Off. But Protectionist raced away at the 100-metre mark. It's Germany's Melbourne Cup. Protectionist by 3 lengths to Red Cadeaux, and Protectionist bolted in the cup by 3. Red Cadeaux second again. Who Shot the Barman third, and then Sign Off. Willing Foe, Precedent to Areldo, followed by Au Revoir, Size Mosse, Faulkner, Lucia Valentina, and next in Gatewood, Opinion, and further back in the field to finish then was Mutual Regard, and they were followed in a strung out field going over the line then by Brambles, Unchained My Heart, Genereux, Ladari, and then My Ambivalent, who went way too hard. Royal Diamond back towards the tail, Mr. O'Kieran, and last to finish is Admire Acti.
Unbelievable. He's absolutely smashed them, to be honest. The German, he has won the Emirates Melbourne Cup by a massive space. The favourites run last. Red Cadeaux creates his own bit of history by running second. No other horse has ever done that 3 times. But it's all about the German and Ryan Moore. It was the Cox Plate on an Irish colt, and now it's the Melbourne Cup on a German stallion.
Take a bow, Ryan Moore. That was a brilliant ride. He got shovelled back at about the 800-metre mark, a little further back maybe than that, but he didn't lose his cool. He looked for runs between horses. He got the runs, and he flew.
Sammy, let's go down to you because you've got the man of the moment. What a win, what a ride, what a horse.
Ryan Moore, outstanding protectionist. He's jogged in the Melbourne Cup.
He's won very easily, like a very good horse. We went strong pace and didn't have a lot of speed early on, and I was just struggling for a position. I got stopped back on the rail, but we was able to sort of follow Mutual Regard for foreign game. It's a bad thing to do around here. And you know, once it got in there, it was just finding the splits and had so much horse, he found them easily.
It's a terrific move by Andreas Wohler to run him in the Herbert Power and then rest him for the Melbourne Cup.
He's proved an excellent trainer he is, you know. His record's very good, and, you know, I'm very pleased with him.
As an international jockey, what does it mean to win this race? You've won Australia's greatest weight for age race, the Cox Plate, and now the Melbourne Cup.
Obviously, it's very special, and you know, to be honest, I've got to thank Michelle at home with the kids, because I've been away a lot, and it's hard for us. So you need to win these races for it to be worthwhile. So you know, glad we got the job done today.
Well done, Ryan, on an outstanding ride, and lap it up, the Melbourne Cup. You've just won it.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
And from the winning rider, Ryan Moore, to the winning trainer, Andreas Wohler, you've won races all over the world, but this one looks like it might be the best you've ever had.
Yeah, it's, I mean, we had great successes all over the world, but that's overwhelming here. That's the biggest of all.
What about the ride? He's a champion jockey. He's shown us that several times. That was brilliant.
He was so patient. Now, he couldn't have that position as he'd like to have, but he was so patient. And when he came around the last bend, I say he just needs to have the right gap, and he found it, and he quickened so well, and Ryan is a superstar.
The pace was almost suicidal up the front, so you knew that you were going to come from the back.
I mean, he stays, and he has a nice turn of foot, what he's shown in the Herbert Power. And so we just need a smooth run, and the jockey is absolutely great, because he was so patient with him and just found the right gap, and that's it.
What a brilliant strategy it was to give him that run in the Herbert Power and to let him feel the ground here in Australia. It's just paid dividends.
Yeah, the one in the speech at that day from the Herbert Power, the chairman couldn't understand it, because we ran there for $200,000 and not a week later for the $3 million Caulfield Cup. So now he knows why.
Now he does know why. But just before you go, your horse is about to come back. As I said, you've won races all over the world. Where does winning the Emirates Melbourne Cup fit in the scheme of things?
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. Probably we just later we think about it, and I mean, it's a moment you won't forget in your life. It's a big achievement from our team. It's a long way plan. Thanks to the owners, because it's to the connections. It's a long way. And
for the big championships, there's a $4 million mile and a quarter race called the Queen Elizabeth, and I think he'll be aimed for that, and Adelaide might be there for it too, the Cox Plate winner, so that'll be a cracker right here live on the...
It was incredibly sad in so many ways with Admiratki, and Araudo's position at the moment, we've got some hope for him, but really was a magnificent ride by maybe the world's best jockey. A German horse wins by a very big margin, and a 9-year-old comes from England and does something unbelievable. He runs second for the third time, something that's never been done before. A lot to remember from the Emirates Melbourne Cup of 2014. See you Thursday.